During the next 10 minutes, we will discuss the most important business events taking place between July 2nd and 8th. You're watching Events Around the Corner on Kazakh TV. The launch of the Progress cargo spacecraft with the SOYUZ-U Rocket is scheduled for July 3rd. The 7th International Maritime Defense Show will end in St. Petersburg on the 5th. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will come to Astana on an official visit on July 7th. Let's discuss this news in detail. On July 2nd, My Office, the platform for shared access to all types of documents, message exchange and file storage, will be revealed for application users. The new Cloud Technologies, a Russian developer of office software, is launching the product which will compete against the popular Microsoft and Google solutions. Director General of NCT, Dmitry Komisarov, said the new product will allow work in private clouds. In his opinion, this option will be attractive for commercial companies that use public cloud services. This project has been developed since 2013 and targeted the trend towards limitation of cross-border transmission of data. Another advantage is the clean, friendly interface without complicated functionality. According to research, people don't use more than 1/5 of the options provided by popular office packages. By 2016, developers of My Office plan creating up to 1 million jobs in CIS and accumulating 15 to 20 million users worldwide. By 2020, the company plans taking 25% of the office application market in the CIS, up to 20% of the market in Brazil and Latin America, and up to 10% of the European market. The Progress M-20M cargo spacecraft will be launched from Baikonur on the SOYUZ-U Rocket on July 3rd. After 2 accidents, the launches of carrier rockets from Baikonur have been suspended until the reasons are found out. On April 28th, Progress M-27M cargo spacecraft, launched with the SOYUZ-2.1A rocket, went on the short-lived orbit and started uncontrolled movement. As a result, the spacecraft burned above the Pacific Ocean. On May 16th, Proton M launch vehicle with the Breeze M upper stages failed to put the MEXSAT-1 Mexican telecom satellite on the orbit and almost completely burned in the atmosphere. According to expert estimates, the cost of the rocket launch was $90 million and production of satellite stood at $300 million. This launch was ensured by Marsh and McLennan companies. The Kyrgyz Republic State Agency of Environmental Protection and Forestry has to review Canadian Centerra Gold's mine plan for 2015 by July 4th. This decision has been postponed for the second time, and Centerra Gold warned about the possible suspension of mining operations at the Kumtor field. The agency claims that the delay is caused by the provision in the plan which envisages measures that conflict with the Water Code of Kyrgyzstan, which prohibits any activities that might influence the natural state of glaciers or quality of water they contain. In turn, the Canadian company reminded that these measures were in line with the previous year's plans. It looks like the SAEPF is expecting amendments to be made to the Water Code. The amendment draft was registered with the Parliament as early as May 26th, but the consideration of the document hasn't started yet. On July 5th, the 7th International Maritime Defense Show will start in St. Petersburg. This is one of the leading exhibitions in shipbuilding and maritime structures. The Ministry for Industry and Trade of the Russian Federation is the organizer of the event. The exposition will be located at LAN Expo pavilions with a total area of more than 17,000 square meters in the Gulf of Finland and near the seaport docks. The International Maritime Defense Show has been developing quickly and now ranks one of the 3 top international maritime defense exhibitions. The latest show was held in 2013 and gathered 458 participants, 89 of which were foreign companies.
89 иностранные компании из 30 стран мира.
July 6th is the deadline for submissions for a new NASA challenge. This time, NASA is asking the public to come up with ideas which elements are needed to establish a continuous human presence on Mars. The submission should include the list of essential elements and their quantity. Projects should be economically sustainable and technically achievable. In addition, psychological consequences of Mars colonization should be taken into account. One of the most important tasks is to describe surface systems, capabilities and operations that will help humans to survive in hostile conditions in the most effective way, with minimum or ideally no reliance on support from Earth. So far, around 3,000 submissions have been received. The total prize pool is $15,000. There may be the maximum of 3 winners, but NASA reserved the right to reduce the prize pool to $5,000. Also, the agency may refuse to pay the money if there are no worthy ideas presented. NASA hopes to receive a plan that will help dramatically cut costs. Space exploration is limited by expensiveness of the projects.
Одним из главных препятствий в освоении космоса является высокая стоимость проекта.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will come to Astana on July 7th on an official visit. The spheres of cooperation between the two countries include information technology, pharmaceuticals, space exploration and banking. Transport corridors are created, officers trained, joint military and industrial projects developed, and partner relationship established between the defense industries of the two countries. In June, a Kazakh delegation led by Energy Minister Vladimir Shkolnik visited Delhi. He took part in the 12th meeting of the Kazakh-Indian Intergovernmental Commission for Trade and Economic, Science and Research, Industrial and Cultural Cooperation. The parties shared opinions on bilateral agreements, which are expected to be signed during Narendra Modi's visit to Kazakhstan. Latvia will have a new president on July 8th. Raimons Vejonis, a former defense minister of the country, will take the office. Vejonis was nominated by the Union of Greens and Farmers, which is a part of the government coalition. Seima deputies supported his candidacy after 5 rounds of voting. During the previous rounds, opposition candidate Martins Bondars left the presidential race. Later, he was followed by Sergei Dolgopolov, a candidate from the Harmony opposition party. As a result, one candidate for the presidential office was left after the 4 rounds, when the voting was closed. Vejonis was supported by 55 deputies, with 51 votes being the required minimum. It is noteworthy that 42 out of 100 deputies voted against all candidates. Let me remind you that the outgoing president, Andris Barzins, refused to run for re-election. His term of office expires on July 7th. At the press conference on the election's results, Raimons Vejonis stated that homeland and external security will be the priority for him as a president, including the development of armed forces and a stronger NATO presence in Latvia and the Baltic countries. The 39th session of the World Heritage Committee will end on July 8th in Bonn, Germany. During the sessions, 37 applications to inscribe objects on the World Heritage List will be reviewed at the session. The committee will consider 5 natural sites, 31 cultural and 1 mixed natural and cultural site. Usually, around 190 countries take part in the committee's sessions. 21 countries comprise the UNESCO World Heritage Committee, including Kazakhstan. Our country was awarded with the honor of becoming a committee's member. Kazakhstan ratified the Convention concerning the protection of the world cultural and natural heritage in 1994. The first Kazakhstan site was included in the UNESCO list in 2003. For the time being, 4 sites in Kazakhstan are inscribed on the list. Those are the Mausoleum of Khoja Ahmed Yasavi, the petroglyphs of Tamgale, steppes and lakes of North Kazakhstan, and the Great Silk Road. Another 13 sites have been suggested by the government of Kazakhstan for inclusion in the World Heritage List. A total of 1,007 sites have been included in the UNESCO World Heritage List, and only 4 Kazakhstani sites are among those. But if we look at the size of our country, which ranks 9th in the world, we will realize this number needs to be increased. This has been our perspective on the coming week. You've watched Events Around the Corner. See you next time on Kazakh TV.